All right, really good practice today. I thought we had probably our best competition from both sides. Got a couple scenarios, did a coming out scenario, finished with a red area series. Right, really had success on both sides of the ball, but really high compete level, which is exactly what you want. You know, I think a lot of college football is done right now. We got an opportunity to continue to get better, and that's really been beneficial to us, and we took advantage of it today.
Were there operational things from last year's spring game that you guys made note of and that you're going to change this year?
Yeah, we made note of some stuff. Nothing that'll be particularly big changes, though.
You've got a couple days now to go over some film from this last scrimmage. What have you seen, and what are you trying to improve upon as you head into the spring game?
Really everything I kind of said right after the scrimmage. You know, we got to do a better job taking care of the ball. You know, but on both sides of the ball, we had too many mental busts on defense. Didn't take care of the ball well enough on offense. So certainly some stuff that we can improve on both sides.
Have you settled on how you'll be selecting teams or splitting the teams up yet?
Yeah.
From practice 1 to today, practice 12, where do you think this team's kind of improved the most this spring?
Maybe just that, what I just said, the competition, right? The ability to go out there and compete every day, not treat it as practice, but treat it as an opportunity to get better.
You kind of said at the beginning of the spring season that a lot of these players came in a little bit, now that they got a year under your belt, a year under their belts, that they were taking it to the next level, good to great. How do you think that that's showing at this point in the spring season after looking back at last year?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys make dramatic improvements. You know, you talk about intrinsic motivation. You have to be motivated to be great yourself. I think you're starting to see that show up with some of these guys. The guys that have really taken advantage of it, you know, they're taking big strides, and they're going to put themselves in position to make an impact for our team.
What are some things you do want to see in the last scrimmage opportunity for spring? What are things you were looking for on Saturday specifically?
Yeah, play clean, right? We'd like to be penalty-free, pre-snap, post-snap. You know, from a penalty standpoint, we want to do a good job taking care of the ball, but we also want to attack the ball, right? And then ultimately, you just want to see that competition. Guys go out there and treat it like a game, have an opportunity to go get better and take advantage of it.
Do you put any extra value on the spring game, or is it just one of 15 practices when you're evaluating?
I think there's value in seeing how guys perform, you know, in a stage, you know, on a stage when there's a setting that's a little bit different. You know, you don't have a coach standing behind you during a practice rep. So, you know, we create a lot of those move the field periods in practice where we play it like a game. But ultimately, when you have to go out there and actually execute, right, with a play clock, right, with the tick going, and in the sequence of a game, I think there's definitely some value in that.
Junior Aguilar has been a little bit limited during the spring. Looks like he's ramping up a little bit. How close is he to 100% ready to play on Saturday?
We've been really precautionary with him. We'll see what it looks like. I wouldn't put it one way or the other right now.
Do you do any live special teams work on Saturday?
It'll be similar to probably what we've done, where we're live until we get to the returner.
Talk about a lot about the O-line, just filling a lot of holes, guys come in. Where have you feel like you've gotten some degree of either certainty, learned a whole bunch by way of guys at different spots, or is that still a lot just for the off-season, fall camp, that kind of stuff?
I'm not sure if I know exactly what you're asking.
Have you gotten more certainty at certain spots in the O-line, or when you had a competition with Marcus and JPJ, is Marcus going down, just kind of delay that a little bit? Is Steven solidified himself as a guard as opposed to anything at tackle?
Yeah, I think we got great competition. I think we got multiple guys that can play. Nothing's set in stone right now. We compete every day. You know, no, it's not like you walk into our room and you say, okay, the depth chart's set. Right, these guys got to go work for it every day. Any day you can earn it, and any day you can lose it.
I know you still got a couple guys that you're going to get before fall camp. What do you think is the biggest difference that fans will be able to see at the spring game between last year's team and the team that's going to perform on Saturday?
Yeah, ultimately, I think overall physicality. Right, I think you're going to see a really physical team. I think that's a brand of learning how the way you practice and the way you play carries over. You know, we have been much more physical as a team this spring than I think we were last year.
You asked me a lot about Brandon Dorless and him coming back, and just what have you seen from him in terms of improvement so far this spring? What are the areas that he's trying to fine-tune this season?
Yeah, playing with better pad level, using his hands consistently better, understanding. I think he did a good job of assessing, okay, here's what my film said last year, right, and then here's the things that I can tweak to get there. So some technical things that he's been able to improve, and then just his overall compete. There's an expectation, you know, for him, and really all those guys that can play along the front for us to play at a certain level.
Where do you feel like the increase in physicality comes from this year compared to last year? Is it just roster additions, or
a combination? I mean, learning how to practice right the right way, right? You know, when you say you're thud mode, it means you got to actually thud somebody for the whistle to blow, right? And just learning how to do that and attack that each day. But certainly, we've improved our roster as well.
How have you seen Jackson Powers Johnson maybe improve and step into the leadership required to play center?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is Jackson making sure that he keeps himself available. You know, this guy's a tough player, and he's had dings and bruises throughout the spring that he's made sure he continues to stay available out there for our team, which has been good. And then the center, you know, there's no question when you're playing center or guard, you got to know a lot of what's going on and be an extension really of the quarterback. You touch the ball every play. So wherever he's at on that offensive line, just the knowledge of the game for him and the consistency starting to show up.
You really hadn't had a chance to see Popo in live action just due to injury, coming back off surgeries, those sorts of things. What has he shown in 12 practices for so far this spring, and how close is he to the form that a lot of us saw years ago?
Yeah, he's shown a lot of flashes of being a really great player. I think every one of these practices has really benefited him. You know, the only way you're going to get better at football is playing football. And Popo works so hard to get back. Our training staff did such a great job to get him back where he's ready, but he's certainly shown flashes of a player that we have high expectations for, and I'm excited to see what he continues to do there.
Normally in the regular season, you'd want fans loud on third down defense. What about in the spring game? You want fans loud every third down?
Yeah, I want them to pick. You know, if you want to be loud, be loud. You want to be quiet, it's going to benefit both sides for us. So it really doesn't matter. And I think I would love to see the seats filled and a lot of great fans with a lot of enthusiasm.
With Terrence shut down, how have you seen Patrick maybe step into kind of a different role than he was last year?
Yeah, Patrick probably doesn't get enough credit for how consistent a play he's been. When his number was called last year, he did exactly what we asked him to do. And I know he knows that he has a role to embrace and a lot more to do for it. And then also seeing a young guy like Kenyon step up has been really beneficial for us as well.
It's a big weekend for you guys recruiting-wise as well. How important is Saturday, just the overall environment? How big can it be on a recruiting trail for you guys?
Yeah, I think this is a great example of everybody here at Oregon needs to realize that they have an impact. We're going to have great players here on campus, but they have an impact for what that experience looks like, right? So they can help create that experience, but from a fan standpoint, from an administrative standpoint, from our staff standpoint, making that experience really unique and special for the guys that we have here on campus.
How will you define success in that way, Dan? Because fans are fans. So they hear and see names that are coming here, and they might define success very differently. If there's not 10 new commitments on Sunday, they might freak out or something. So, like, how do you define what success for recruiting will be with the spring game, this kind of standalone opportunity?
Yeah, we're not used car salesmen. It's not a sales pitch for us. You know, guys are going to jump on board when they're ready to jump on board. This impact, everything matters, right? So this impact this weekend could certainly impact that. But we're not trying to trick guys to come to our campus, right? When they're ready to be Ducks, we're excited about it. Does it mean we get a commitment? Very well could. Does it mean we might not? That's okay. It's a long, steady race, and it's a long ways away from signing day. It's about the overall experience for our guys, the overall relationships and connection that's built, and then them seeing a product that they can be proud of and want to be a part of. All right, appreciate it, guys.